If you struggle serving consistently well, especially under pressure, I am almost certain you're probably missing one of these three fundamentals. I see tons of players, even very high level players, making these kind of mistakes, but the good news is that they're really easy for you to spot, fix, and apply very quickly. Number one, the serve should be like a throwing motion. For some reason, I see players when they get a racket in their hand and they're trying to serve, they all of a sudden get like stiff and they start doing all sorts of funny stuff with their arm when there's really no need. The easiest way to start to replicate and to get your serve back in flow is to get a ball and start to throw it. But keeping two things in mind. First one is that your arm should try to be at a 90-degree angle in your shoulder and in your elbow, and you should be able to let the ball drop and then go before you release it. So let's give it a shot. We come 90-degree angle, we let it drop, and we release high. Notice that my ball is going up when I'm releasing it. Same. 90-degree angle, I go down, and I release high. Now, the curious thing is that some people, you ask people to throw a ball, and they usually do it pretty well. But like I mentioned before, when you get a racket in their hands and you ask them to serve, all of a sudden things get stiff, and all of a sudden they think you need to reinvent the wheel, and things get really funny and really complicated. So I want you to think of your serve like a throwing motion. I will do it now with an actual serve. Again, same motion like I'm going to throw the racket or throw a ball, and then when I go actually to real serving, again, it is no different. Again, in the box with zero effort. If for some reason you struggle in the beginning to get this motion, the thing you can do is, and you've probably seen pro players or other people warming up this way, is to go and like simulate the throwing motion. And the throwing motion, notice how everything is flowing. There's basically no effort. Boom. 90-degree angle, drop, release high and go. You can do a few reps like this to get your arm for you to get a feel for the motion, for the arm to get loose, and then try serving again. Let's do a few more. And a little long, but again, really smooth and effortless. Now, number two, and super important, is the toss. When I am releasing a ball, when I'm throwing, I release the ball there. To find my contact point, I simply go up, and I find it, and there I have my contact point. Now, the reason the toss is so important is that we need to be able to put the ball where we want our ideal contact point. Sometimes when I see also players serving, it's like the toss is here, the toss is there, the toss is way too far in front or whatever. And then, of course, the contact point shifts all over the place, and this does not allow your arm and your throwing motion to flow naturally. So how are we going to fix this? A really simple exercise that I was taught by Stan Smith actually when I was in his academy when I was 14. I'm sure he's not the only person that teaches this, but he's the one that taught it to me. Was to take two balls in your hand. So that way you're holding the ball with the tips of your fingers, and you have to toss and catch without moving. And toss and catch. It is really important to be very strict with oneself and not cheat, where if I throw up and then I go catch it, oh, I think I did it well. No, you didn't, right? Toss and like a statue. Like when I made a mistake, for example, toss and catch. That one was pretty good. Again, toss and catch. That was perfect. Toss and catch, and that was perfect. Then the next step would be to do it trying to do it the full motion. So we're coordinating toss with getting in the correct trophy position. Toss and catch. That was pretty good. Again, toss and catch. That was pretty good. Now, if you notice, the ball should go and be in this point, which is exactly where I want to hit, and that will allow my serving motion to flow and be easy. Toss and catch. There. Good. Right in the perfect spot with no effort. Same. Toss and catch. Again, a little long, but it was still pretty good. The contact was great. Once you do a few with two balls and you're kind of getting it right most of the time, you can progress to doing with one ball, but you have to make sure that you keep the ball in the tips of your fingers and your arm relaxed. Toss and catch. That was perfect. Aspect number three, and the last one we're going to go over today, is the importance of keeping your head looking at the contact and keeping your left arm up very long. sometimes when I see players, especially when they're stressed or when they feel pressure of the match and they want to serve and they want to kind of know what's going on, they start to rush through the serve and then things get very messy. For example, this is what I want you not to do. Come here, you serve, and then before you hit, you're already looking at the box. Or you turn your shoulders still too aggressively. Same thing here. And then if we start to shake our shoulders and move our shoulders, not only we're not looking at the ball, which makes it more difficult to have good contact, but because we're shaking our shoulders, it makes it much more difficult to actually control our hands. So again, another very simple exercise is when you can go, you toss, you see yourself hit the ball and you stay there. Again, you do the motion, you see yourself can't hit the ball, and then you can go. Let's do it for real now. There, pretty good. And pretty good. That allows me to make sure that my energy is going up. It is also really, really important that we leave our left arm up very long. Same thing as the head. If the head starts to look and the shoulder drops, where our energy is not only going forward instead of up, where it should be going, but also we're also losing control of everything. So again, we need to be keeping the left arm up, dropping, and then when the right hand starts to go up to hit the ball, then we can pull the left arm into our stomach. Same, we do a few shadow swings like that. Left head up, left arm up until the very last moment. And now, let's try serving for real. Perfect, that was in. Again. Perfect. That way, when we are keeping the head up in contact, keeping the left arm up until the last moment, if we ensure that we are going up as we hit and we're looking at the ball so we can get clean contact and have the energy transfer be the most efficient and effective towards the ball. That's right, last few serves. Again, I bounce the ball, I take my time. There, good. Little long, but it was pretty good. My time, hit up, good, perfect. Keep these three crucial fundamentals in mind next time you go practice or play, and this will probably allow your serve to get way more consistent over time and especially under pressure. If you like the video, if you found it valuable, if you feel like it could help your game, please, I would really appreciate it. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Now, once you have a bit of practice and the serve and you're getting these three aspects correct most of the time, ideally all of it if possible, then we can actually try to do full serves and you can start getting your legs involved. If you are someone who is a beginner or an intermediate player and you still haven't mastered or you're not doing this stuff pretty well, I would not for now worry about how to use your legs. Because also I often see players, especially amateurs, trying to they watch pros on TV and say, oh, look how much they're jumping when they serve. But they try to serve and they do all sorts of something that is completely unnecessary when they are not yet ready because they have not mastered these three aspects of the serve. So once you've worked on these things enough and you're doing them pretty well, then yes, you can actually start to worry about it and get your legs more involved to actually get the ball big for real. Let's try a few serves when I'm serving full and I'm using the loading of the legs going up and so on as I would be doing a serve for real. But again, making sure always and prioritizing that these three fundamentals are always in place. Load on my legs. There. Not bad. A little bit of an leg cord, but it's pretty good. Again, down, on my legs. I was in. Great serve, actually. Again. And going up. Again, I think I made 3 serves, 1 leg cord, and 2 very, very good serves. It's crucial that before, and again, I will repeat myself, especially if you're an amateur and you do not have these things mastered, don't worry about this, the jumping or the legs. Get these key things in place first before you go onto something else. If you like this video, if you find it helpful, please let me know in the comments below. And if you want to work more closely with me, in the description is a little link where you can schedule your free introductory call and see if we're a good fit to work together, if I can help you out with your game. Thank you and see you soon.